Okay, the topic for today is to simplify rational expressions and identify excluded values. The good thing is most of what we're going to do today you have done um, previously. We're just going to extend or expand upon what we're doing uh, to, uh, to the topic. Okay, now rational expressions, if you see the word rational in math, what you should be thinking about is ratio, which you should be thinking about is a fraction. Okay, so a rational expression is an algebraic, as opposed to numerical expression, whose numerator and denominator are polynomials. Word ahead of here. Okay. Now, if you might recall, we dealt with this topic of excluded or restricted values. And we've seen this in many contexts. Um, you saw it in the test that you just took, where you can have extraneous answers. In rational expressions, excluded or restricted values are values that make the denominator equal to 0, since that makes the expression undefined. Okay. The key is they are determined before simplifying the expression. And when we go through examples, you'll see what I'm talking about. Okay? The domain of rational expressions is all real numbers except those that result in a denominator of 0. All right, so we're going to talk about the following steps, and then we're going to go through some examples. And I think you'll find it pretty straightforward. Step 1 of simplifying rational expressions is we're going to factor the numerator and denominator if possible. Okay. Step 2, we are going to cancel common factors. The key here is you cannot cancel parts of terms being added or subtracted. So for example, if you had x plus 3 over x plus 5, you cannot cancel the x's to get 3 over 5. That's a violation of the order of operations. Step 3 is look for opposites, such as, I need another A, x minus 2 and 2 minus x, which cancel to a negative 1. Okay? Because if you took a look, if you multiplied x minus 2, if you multiplied the second term by negative 1, right, you'll see each term has an opposite sign. Here the 2 is negative, here the 2 is positive. Here the x is positive, the x is negative. So the only difference between the two is a negative 1. And then finally, you want to make sure your answer is in simplest form. Okay, so let's go through some examples. I have x minus 1 over 5x minus 5. Okay, I can't simplify x minus 1. I can factor x, 5x minus 5. Now, one of the suggestions that we make is anytime you have a binomial or a trinomial, put parentheses around them, okay? Because then, if you can cancel what's completely in parentheses, then it works. If that gets canceled, I'm left with 1 over 5. Now, what's my excluded value? Well, I would set my denominator of 5x minus 5 equal to 0 so that my excluded value is 1, okay? Unless there is no variable in the denominator, you will always have an excluded value. In the second one, there's no factoring, so you're just canceling via common factors. 34 and 42 have a common factor of 3, so of 2, so I'm left with 17 over 21. X squared over x to the 50 is left with x cubed in the denominator. And what is your excluded value? It's simply 0. Okay, next one, I can factor out a 2, m minus 1. I can factor out a 2. I'm sorry. Again, I can factor out a 2. I'm left with 2m minus 1. I can't factor anything in the denominator. It's just 2m minus 1. They are the same, so I'm left with 2. My excluded value is 1/2. Okay? Just getting back, the way you would say what the domain is the domain, okay? In this example, x is all real except x cannot equal 1. Okay? That's how you would see that written. All right, next one, I can factor out a 3. Usually, there is a clue when you factor that if something's in the numerator, something will probably be in the denominator. Cancel there. So this factors as 3 over x minus 5. You don't need the parentheses afterwards. Now, your excluded values are 5 and negative 4. Okay? Continuing on. I factor this as 5x plus 3. This factors as 3 plus x, 3 minus x. The x plus 3 and the 3 plus x cancel. Why? Commutative property. And you're left with 5 over 3 minus x. Your excluded value is 3 and negative 3. 2x minus 6. X minus 6, x minus 1. I'm left with 2 over x minus 1. My excluded values are 6 and 1. Factor out x plus 7 over x plus 7, x minus 7. I'm left with x over x minus 7. And my excluded values are 7 and negative 7. And then my last one, this factors as x minus 5, x plus 3. And this factors as 2, x minus 5. Now, sorry about that. off on this one here. 5 minus x. And here is our example. The 5 minus x and the x minus 5 do cancel. Now, it's your choice. You could put, as long as you put one negative sign somewhere, it works. You could put it in the numerator, the denominator, leave it out to the side, and your excluded value is simply 5. Okay? So to summarize, what we did today is we simplified rational expressions.